Welcome back to Voices of Our Elders, a series celebrating the stories of older folk in our lives. This is my grandfather. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. Where are we at?
We're in Seattle at Jefferson Park, in the center of Seattle, actually.
Okay. And you like the park?
I love the park.
Why do you love the park?
The park, to me, the energy from the plants and the beauty from the plants, just, I guess I just absorb that in my life. I just love it.
So when I'm looking around at, I guess you call it the terrain, I'm seeing so many plants that need to be watered. You're 80 years old. I want to know, how do you water yourself at 80?
You do it through habits. You water yourself through the things you do daily that are correct. So
That are correct. That you know are correct, that you have conviction about.
Absolutely. Like get up and brush your teeth, clean yourself, keep going.
You pray?
Oh yes, yeah, prayer is a big part of that. So you have these movements, these ideas, and these thoughts that are positive, and you keep doing them.
What is one positive habit that you love to do on a daily basis?
Well, one, just think about that. The whole of life, what is one? I love to eat. Eating is fun, but
What's your favorite thing to eat?
well, I like general foods. I'm a vegetarian, but I like fish, and occasionally fowls. But the vegetables are, to me, more exciting and more fun. And
What is your
herbs.
favorite vegetable?
Well, I guess my favorite vegetable are
Collard greens, because you always making them.
That's right.
Yeah.
The greens, but I like to mix them together. I like to mix the different types.
What's your favorite green? You have like mustard greens, collards. I feel like you always mix the greens.
Yeah, I mix them together. Yeah, but now I'm into moringa, which is an exciting, to me, new herb that's ancient actually. But that I use in my morning shakes.
Is it blue? Is that what it is? Is it blue?
It's kind of a dark green. I know some of it's blue, but it's a dark green.
So we're around plants. I want to know what you do at 80 to keep up your vitality as a man, to keep up your gusto.
Yeah, I'm a constant swimmer, so I'm always thinking about making sure I have a good schedule at a pool or at the beach, and then trying to eat as well as you can, especially green vegetables and your sea mosses and the things that you think that are going to keep you lucid, because they're going to keep your muscles and stuff loose. I don't get a lot of greasy foods, so you're trying to keep yourself good, but the movement is important. And of course now I'm into Qigong.
Right.
And Qigong.
That's what I was getting at, because one time you told me about doing breath work.
Yeah.
And a level of male essence retention, I'll say, to kind of keep your vitality going. Do you still do that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Energy is everything, and people have called it different names, but each of these plants have a certain energy that makes them what they are. And then the sharing of that energy. And that's something we could do ourselves. We can draw good energy in and we can push bad energy out.
Right. So when we look around, or at least for me, I look at all of these plants, and because I'm a budding scientist myself, I'm so familiar. There's so many different species and diversity of plants around us right now. What does thriving in diversity at 80 mean to you, right? Because when you see this, there's so much diversity. There's probably, I would say, hundreds of thousands of different organisms right here. So what does that mean to you?
Well, the green, it really is the trees. They've been here a long time. You have trees that are 1,000 years old, and when you study just how they look, on the outside, they look dead with the crust all on the outside. But in the inside, the carbon monoxide, what they're using and how they're interacting with different plants shows us what life is really about. And it's sharing.
Share.
It's all sharing, you know. So you don't get locked up into just one view of the world, you know. But how does the world look to a bee? If a bee flies in here with its eyes, the octagon eyes, where it sees everything, that's still you. But the bee is going to look at you. He's going to see something very different than what I look at. He's going to look at energy around you. He's going to look at the heat and the color. If you look through the bee's eyes, he's going to see a whole different person than I see. Look at him see something
I
different.
never thought about that.
Yeah.
So you feel like sharing perspective and being willing to see others' perspective is the key to living in a diversified, peaceful world.
Absolutely. Because we see things, you know, we should be able to see through someone else's eyes, you know. Being able to relax and to, you know, and to accept who you are and to accept who someone else is. And then there's other vibrations, you know. There's some plants that can be harmful to you to touch. And then there's another one that can be very healthy to touch.
Right.
You know, so to understand those things, to learn from the elders, so that you can live in balance with nature.
Can I ask you another question? When did when did it really switch in your mind that, okay, we have to live amongst each other in peace? Because I think for most of us, especially right now in this nation, we're into fighting. One person has to be right, one person has to be wrong. And it does feel like there's a clear right and wrong. But at the end of the day, until justice reigns supreme, we're here amongst each other. So what could you tell us about finding peace in the midst of the confrontation?
Yeah, and I think the most important is that you understand that is what you need. You know, you need the peace, not the victory. You know, you think that if you get the victory, then you'll have peace, and you won't have peace because victory doesn't offer you peace. Victory offers you victory, and you're victorious for a moment, then somebody else will be victorious. But peace is a balanced act. You know, it's like, what can we do to solve this? You know, what can we do to change the energy field to one of positivity? You know. And that's what should be on your mind, you know. When things are chaotic, you know, how do we get to a place where we're at a positive, you know?
And so when did peace become the ultimate goal for you?
In my life?
Yeah, like what was there an age? Was there something that happened when you realized, I just want peace now?
Yeah, I mean the domestic disputes in my home between my mother and father were very intense and very vicious, and we loved both of them so much, and it was such a handsome couple, a beautiful couple together. People would just stare at them coming down the road because just to see both of them together was like seeing two movie stars. And then when they would go, I get home and have issues and we get to fight, and then you just wanted peace because it was night and day. You know, when they were at peace, it was like looking at a beautiful couple like this on TV or something. And then when they were at war, it was like you were dying. You know, you were seeing their energy destroying each other. You know? So I knew right away peace was definitely what I wanted, and I fought that battle. You know, to try to make it happen very early.
So do you think, and I've thought this often, do you think that peace only comes when you realize you do not want confrontation? Right? Because it's this opposing, you see, you know what peace is only because you also know what the confrontation is.
True.
So at 80, what do you think about that?
Well, at 80, I try to even get above that because, you know, there's a place beyond war. There's a place beyond confrontation. You know, if somebody's slapping you around, you stop them from slapping you around, you got some relief there. But then there's another place where there's just love, you know, it's just, you look at your friends and they're coming up and you're shaking it and you're happy to see them healthy. And you look at your children and your cousins, and everybody's looking and doing well, and that's a level above, and you don't have to anticipate negative coming. You don't have to deal with that. If it comes, it's in trouble because we love each other.
So what would you tell, a little background noise, I'm sorry. What would you tell the people listening about growing old? These plants, some of these plants, some of these trees, they really wouldn't be behind me, right? But if we want to grow old, grow strong, have deep roots, what would you tell us about growing deep roots?
And it's so important. And the deep roots are taking care of yourself when you're young. That's the roots. That's who you really are. And the body was made to live. The body wants to live, and wants to do everything to live. So it's your relationship with the body and what you feed the body that's going to determine when you get older exactly how you feel. I feel good as an older man. As a matter of fact, I feel like I've done a lot of things right. I have some issues, but I'm working on those issues. So taking care of yourself as a young person, is very important. Take care of your teeth. Taking care of anything that should go wrong. Investigate it. It's not necessarily drugs. It could be anything that could help you. These plants can help you. Find out what it is.
So it's a culmination of things to grow old.
That's right. Yeah. And to keep the curiosity about life. Keep that young idea that something could happen here now. I'm still learning. That curiosity about life. You don't know everything that's going to go.
Yes. So before we close out this episode, what is wealth to you?
Wealth to me is health.
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 Wealth is health.
Oh yeah. If you're healthy, you could buy a lottery ticket, be a billionaire tomorrow. So anything, but if you're not healthy, then you have a lot of issues that you're dealing with. So the first thing that comes to mind is health.
Taking care of your body.
Taking care of your mind. Healthy body, healthy mind. You're welcome.
Love that. All right. Well, that's it for episode 3. I love y'all so much. Peace everywhere to the world. This is my grandfather. Do you have any closing statements for the people?
Well, stay healthy and use the love that's in your heart to keep you healthy.
All right. I love y'all so much. I'm out.